Hey guys, how are you all? Hope so you all are doing well. Okay, so let's start the story. Without any further conversation, this is also the one by one. Hmm. So let's start it. Everything is going everything is going well, but how long the things go well? No one know. Please, said Yoongi, come downstairs today, Jim and Auntie. I try. But I don't think he listen me. Mrs. Min, he drew my son. Listen, you please do this for me. I only have hope with you. Jimin, you know well, auntie, how much you give them. And I said him come downstairs to the dinner with them. Mrs. Min, I can't do anything, my son. He also need to know she is his granny. Friends, Jimin, I can't do anything here, auntie, but I try. Min nodded she go from there. Jimin is walking back and forth as it's time for Yoongi to come, and Jimin is right. Yoongi come in the house. When Jimin stand in front of him, Yoongi stopped to see him. Both look at each other. Jimin, you come? Yoongi, He just turned and Jimin nodded. Yoongi didn't say anything and go upstairs. Jimin come upstairs behind him, and he see Yoongi, who is and now sit on the bed. Jimin gave him a glass of water. Without saying anything, Yoongi take the water and he go for fresh up. Jimin sign. He is thinking, how can he talk with him? Why Mrs. Min said him to do his work, huh? He make up out, and after some time Jungi come out and Jimin take from him and sign him to sit on the chair without saying anything. He sit on the chair and Jimin smile. He starts his when Jungi and he continue to do his work. After some times when he done, he see Yoongi don't move. Jimin plays on the side and Yoongi look at him. It gazes. Jimin sit and Jimin still at me. He asks and Yoongi stays silent, just look at him. Jimin sighed. Jimin, I don't understand what I do with you, huh? 2 weeks pass, but you are still giving me your. I am telling you again. If I start, Yoongi, you see, huh? He rolled his eyes and Yoongi stayed silent. Jimin once again sighed. Jimin, leave it. Listen me. Granny called their friends at home and mom wants to do dinner with them. Yoongi see Jimin, his kiss turn and he stand up. Jimin also. Jimin, Yoongi, listen me. Listen me. It's just a dinner. Nothing else. Yoongi stays silent. Jimin, I don't said no to mom as I can't. So please, Yoongi, listen me. It's just about dinner, please. Yoongi stay silent. She and also jacket. Jimin, so you don't listen me. Yoongi grab his car keys and stop on the door. When he heard what Jimin said, Jimin, if you don't join them on dinner, don't do. But I do, he said. Yoongi closed his eyes to calm himself. He don't said something to Jimin. He go from there. Jimin sit on the bed and sighed. Jimin, I told auntie he don't listen me, but no one listen me, huh? And it's me who doing all this. He think and signed to see the mirror. Jimin come downstairs and he see Yoongi, granny, friends, and his Mrs. Min went to Jimin. Mrs. Min, Yoongi, don't come Jimin, I tell you, auntie, already he don't come. Why, Granny, won't he? Won't he? Come here, Mrs. Min, I don't know. Because of her, she becomes stubborn, but I do hear, son. Jimin, he is so. He don't want. They come here, but still she called them, and now you are expecting he come? No, mom, this not happens. Jimin, I myself don't want to come, but I do because of you. Mrs. Min say, hey Mrs. Min, thank you so much, my son. Jimin sign as though and he sit beside Mrs. Min. Granny, where is Yoongi? Jimin, he have some work. Granny saw he is not at home. Granny, call him and call him and said Jim, come home. My friends come to meet him. Jimin, I do, Granny. He said, Jan. Look at Mrs. Min, who's looking at him. Being Jimin sign and he stand up. He don't know what he do, but then he see Yoongi enter in the house. Jimin smiled to see him. Yoongi come and see them. Granny, oh my son, come, she said, and Yoongi just nodded. Yoongi greeted everyone silently, and Jimin smiled to see him. Yeah, how are you, Yoongi? Yoongi, fine. He said in cold voice, and Jimin see him. He didn't said anything. He didn't said anything, just looking down, and they all sit in the living room. Mrs. Min, she said, Jimin looked at Yoongi, and then he looked into another side. Yoongi didn't give the answer. Granny, my Jimin and Yoongi is so happy, and they promised me to give me. They said, and Mrs. Min smiled, and Jimin looked at Yoongi, who's busy to scrolling through his phone. Jimin about to stand up when Yoongi held his hand, and Jimin signed, Jimin, you did here with me. Yoongi, don't talk with me, and don't even let me. Also, he whispered, and Yoongi stays silent, and he on his hand. They sit for some time to the dinner, and now it's time for going. I'm going London, by the way, she said. And Yoongi, who just nodded, Jimin sign in real life. She is going. Yes, see you soon then. Bye. She said to Yoongi and go there. The others also go. Also said bye to each other and they go. Mrs. Min say them. Mrs. Min, you go and take rest now. She said, and they also go upstairs. They come in. They come in the room and Yoongi leave Jimin hand. He go sit on the bed and pick his laptop. He start to do work on his laptop, and Jimin seeing him. He feel okay, he do, but it doesn't mean Yoongi do this now. Jimin sit on the bed and see him busy on his work. Jimin, today also you don't talk with me, Yoongi. He said, and Yoongi continued to do his work. Just fell from Jimin's eyes. Jimin, fine now, I don't talk with you by myself, he said, and lay on the but Yoongi don't even bother to look at him. He continued to do his work. Jimin closed his eyes as he tried to sleep for some time, but he can't. He closed his eyes and after some time he fell in sleep. It's late. When Yoongi done from his work, he placed his laptop on the side and see Jimin who was sleeping. Yoongi on the bed and Tim carefully he on his forehead. Yoongi, me just one more day. After that, I with you. He said then him and closed his eyes. He also sleep. Next day, Yoongi is the one who wake up first as usual, and he get ready for going office. Jimin open his eyes and see him already. He don't greet him now. He tired by his behavior. Jimin remained on his place. When Yoongi take his mobile, he noticed Jimin wake up, but he don't greet him. He didn't have any, as he is the one who's ignoring him. So he go from the room now without saying anything, and Jimin signed to see him. He sit on the bed for some times and then again make himself ready for new a new day. Jimin fresh up but to remain in his room. He don't go out. Mates come with the breakfast, but he don't do the breakfast. After some times the door open. Taeyang come. Jimin Taeyang. He see him and Jim Taeyang, where were you? Busy, Jimin? I am calling you from almost 20 minutes, but you don't attend my calls, so I thought to come and check on you. He said and sit in front of him. Jimin, I don't notice. I'm well, sorry. Taeyang, leave this. Tell me, how are you, Jimin? Fine. Jimin, what you think? You think what's bothering me? Of course, Yoongi moved. Taeyang, he's still cold. Jimin, yeah, Jang, it's been 15 days, but he's still same. I don't know what I do now. I myself is tired. Jang, you also did, Jimin. Jimin, I know I do. But I said sorry so many times, Jang. Now I am tired. What I do, huh? Jang, you talk with him, Jimin. I do so many times. Now I don't want to. I am feeling right now. He signed and Jeng same Jeng, okay, okay, don't nothing happens. He said, smile, Jimin, what I do? Jeng, I tell you, listen. He started to tell him and Jimin listen everything carefully. Jimin, but I am nervous to do this, Jeng. Jeng, then go to. Seriously, Jimin, but he is my best friend also, Jiang. So what, huh? I think you have a plan to Jimin. It's nothing like that, Jiang. Jiang, then what, huh? Jimin, fine. I do this, but you go on a shopping. This I don't go. Jiang, I no need to. I have so many. I give you one. Jimin, alright, as you said, but still, if you don't talk with me, then I don't leave you, Taeyang. I am telling you. Okay. Taeyang, talk. You see just what happened, he said, and they both talk for some times. Jimin Jimin is coming downstairs. He stopped when he heard Yoongi is talking with someone. She is a girl, and he know her. She is Yoongi's secretary, but what she is doing here? Jimin don't said anything. He remained on his place. Yoongi, good, and we go on dinner with them. Secretary, sir, well, I'm, I'm thinking if you call them at home, it's better as the deal is important for us, not for them. If you think then fine, you can invite them on dinner, and you also stay here on dinner. Secretary, okay, sir. I informed them. I said, mate, she show you guest room. Secretary, thank you, sir. She said, to see her. Jimin, good afternoon. Call me Jimin. How are you? Jimin, I am fine. You tell me. I am also fine. Yoongi show her guest room. He said, cold voice, and Jimin nodded to go. So cold, right? Jimin come in. Jimin come in the kitchen and see Mrs. Min is busy in making the dinner. Jimin, who's coming, mom? She is also coming. Oh, Mrs. Min. Yoongi said so important clients is coming, so she is here as she is his secretary. Jimin, I know, so the meeting is important for him. Mrs. Min, so much, so he wants everything perfect. Jimin, I understand. He said, think for some time. Jimin, can I help you? Mrs. Min, yeah, sure, you can. Jimin smile and he start to help her. They start to make the dinner together, and after dinner, Jimin see Yoongi is talking with his secretary. He know they are talking about business, but he still, he think and sign. He sit on the chair in the kitchen as he remember what happens in past and now what's all happening. In past, the room is the room is filled with the as Jimin stand on the side he see the room with his widened eyes when the door open. Yoongi see Jimin and he starts laughing. Jimin turn and see him. Jimin, what, huh? He roll his eyes. Yoongi, first you become my best friend and now you are not even a Jimin. Oh, like you are, huh? He rolled his eyes once again. Yoongi, so of course I am. You know well, girls, huh? Jimin, because they are. I don't understand what they even see in you. He said, and Yoongi sighed. Yoongi, you have to admit, Jimin. I'm handsome, Jimin. And if I don't want what you do, he said and raised his eyebrow. Hmm. I listen her, but she don't. Okay. To Jimin, I don't think I think I someone better, but all is I got is Yoongi. Yoongi, and what you are, huh? Mochi? Jimin, whatever. I don't want to talk with you right now, he said, and Yoongi held his hand. Yoongi, we literally that we each other and get, and here we are like this. Jimin, that's a point. Yoongi, we have whole life to Jimin, but we always do on a special moments. Yoongi, yeah. I don't let you this, he said, and okay, so I don't do voiceover on this text. Hmm, literally. I really want to see this. I think I don't do the next one also. Yeah, I don't do the next one also. Hmm. And she's literally looking so beautiful. Well, when you always do hot link, of course this happens. Hmm. Alright. Next morning, the door is knocking continuously. Jimin open his eyes. Jimin, Yoongi, go and see who come. Yoongi, you go and see. He said, and Jimin, he said, and he open his eyes. He go and open the door. See Mrs. Min. Okay, so some I don't do so. Okay, I am on a fast. Hmm. I have to call my friend or message my friend also. Mrs. Min, he smiled to see her and become nervous. Also, Mrs. Min, you okay, son? I come to call you both for breakfast. Hope so I don't you. Jimmy, no, no, thank you, auntie. We are coming, he said, and she smiled. Mrs. Min, okay, you both come, she said, and Jimmy nodded, and then she go and close the door. Jimin turned and he see Yoongi. Jimin, Yoongi, wake up. Everyone is waiting for us on the dining table. Yoongi, you go. I am sleeping. Jimin, Yoongi, and wake up. He said then. Yoongi continued to sleep. Jimin come out after fresh up. He see him. He see the jug of water and without thinking twice he on water on him. He said and sit on the bed. Jimin start laughing. Jimin start laughing. Yoongi see him and the jug. Yoongi, seriously, Jimin, now you are my Jimin. So what? Get up now, Yoongi. You, I take my just wait and watch. He said, and go for fresh up and Jimin starts laughing. Jimin, I am going downstairs, you come by yourself. He and go from the Yoongi after some times also come downstairs. Hmm. Jimin come downstairs. Jimin come downstairs and he sit on the chair. He see Ria. He become confused who's she, but he don't ask Yoongi. Also come and sit on the chair. He see Jimin and roll his eyes. Jimin try not to laugh. Yoongi, hey Ria, you are here. Yoongi, Ria, hey Yoongi, how are you? Yoongi, I'll find you here. Ria, yeah, Granny go somewhere. She said, I don't stay at home, so I stay here. Yoongi, oh, that's good. Most welcome. He said, and Jimin, and look at Jimin who's giving him. So of course Jimin is failing, but Jimin start to do his breakfast. Yoongi, Jimin, can you serve me breakfast? He said, and Jimin see him. He raised his eyebrow. Yoongi, what happened? Serve me breakfast. He said, and Jimin see him. He want to set something, but he stays silent. He serve him breakfast and again start to eat. Yoongi, Jimin, coffee. Also, Jimin, coffee. Also, Jimin stops seeing him. He pass him a coffee. Yoongi, it's cold. Can you the coffee? Jimin give him and Yoongi is him. He know Jimin don't said in anything in front of his family. Jimin sure. He said with a smile and take the cup. He go in the kitchen. Yoongi to hear what Jimin call him. After some times, Jimin come and give him coffee. He sit on his place. Jimin, your coffee. Yoongi, thanks. He said and take the and start to Jimin to say him. Yoongi, you okay? He said and Yoongi see him with done face. Mrs. Min, what happens? Son, Yoongi, nothing. The coffee is too. He said and Jimin see him. He try not to laugh. Yoongi, seriously, you at Jimin, now you want me to the coffee? Yoongi, huh? I don't this, I promise. He said and placed the cup on the side. Rhea, what happens? Yoongi, why you are not coffee? Yoongi, I don't feeling like Rhea. If you said I make coffee for you, Yoongi, he look at Jimin who's looking at him. Yoongi, yeah, please. You make really a good coffee, he said, and Rhea smiled. She go in the kitchen. Jimin see Yoongi, Yoongi, Jimin. He gave him Jimin. I see you later. He gave him okay. Hmm. Yoongi and Yoongi girl Priya come with the coffee, and she plays in front of him and sits beside him. Jimin don't as she saw Jimin see him. Jimin hum whatever. He rolled his eyes to see them. Yoongi didn't the coffee. He just want to Jimin and to do. He know he have to with Jimin later and to surely do. So finally third last text. Hmm. Jimin Jimin sit in the terrace when Yoongi come and sit beside him. Jimin didn't talk with him, not even look at him. Yoongi, hey, are you at me? Jimin, I want to you right now, Yoongi. And why is that? How can you do this with me, Jimin? And what you do? You think it's right, huh? Yoongi, you know I was you. I don't the coffee. He said, place his head. Jimin, I know you don't, but you know I don't her. I think you or something like this, Yoongi. It's not wrong to said as she me in the past. You remember I told you someone me Jimin, yeah, Yoongi, she is real. Jimin, I see her. I think she is real and you. Hmm. Yoongi, you know she me when I don't even realize. I I may said yes, but she is a so that's why I don't said accept I don't accept her, Jimin. Oh, she look like also. Yoongi, you see now? Also, she's trying to on me, Jimin. I notice, and you, what you do, huh? Set her to make coffee for you, Yoongi. You know well. I said as I just want you, nothing else, Yoongi. I know. Me, Jimin, it's okay. Jimin stand and caressing his ears. Yoongi closes his eyes. He is feeling so peaceful. Jimin chuckled. To same Yoongi, I will surely sleep like this, Jimin. Jimin said, do no one stop you, Yoongi? Oh no, he sit on the couch and see Jimin. Yoongi, I become so busy in all this. I don't ask you. How are you, huh? You are feeling okay, Jimin? I am fine. What happened? Yoongi, you are not feeling any white, Yoongi, he said, and Jimin smile. Jimin, no, I am not, Yoongi. You sure? Jimin, I am sure, Yoongi, he said, and want to him, Yoongi. Jimin, I know, and you never me. Jimin smile, Yoongi, just trust me, Jimin. I just want you. Trust me like this. You do know, Jimin. I always trust you, Yoongi. No matter what he said, and Yoongi on his hand and look at him. Jimin smiled to see him. Jimin, you know, hmm, for you, even I deserve. He said, and Jimin him he make about and Yoongi chuckled to see him. Yoongi, you know well how much I owe Jimin. I know, and you too. Yoongi, I know cupcake. He said, and Jimin smiled to see him. Jimin, oh, you are really person. He said, and both giggled together and spent time with each other. So finally, second last scene. Hmm. Time is passing. Passing. Time is passing. Everything is passing. Everything is fine. But Ria continued to talk with Yoongi, and Yoongi reply. And Yoongi reply casually, but she think Yoongi isn't in him, and this is her biggest. Right now, Yoongi is in his home office working on his laptop when she come. Yoongi don't notice her. Ria Yoongi, he still focus on his work. Ria see her and the door. Yoongi look up and see her. She and Yoongi become annoying to see him. Yoongi, what you are doing here, Ria? Ria, I am not feeling sleepy, so I thought to talk with you. And sometimes, Yoongi, I really don't have time. I really don't have time, Ria. I have to complete my work soon and go back to my who's wait who's waiting for me. Ria felt, but she still smiled. Ria, it's about some time. He said, and she come and place his hand. Yoongi see her. Yoongi, what you are doing? Ria, nothing, just trying to. She said, and okay, Jimin come and see this. Yoongi see Jimin, and he also becomes shocked. And Yoongi turn and he see Jimin. Yoongi, Jimin, I explain what happens. He said, and Jimin went toward them. Ria, okay, I don't know what I am doing. Ria, see, she know. Now Jimin don't listen him. Yoongi. Jimin raised his hand and on her eyes widen. Yoongi is also shocked. Jimin, from here before I tell you what you did. He said, and she run. Yoongi is so shocked to see Jimin. He's somewhere feeling to think what Jimin do. Yoongi. Jimin, I explain you, Jimin. What you explain me, huh? I am so done from you, Yoongi. Seriously, what's not in me? You are her. Yoongi, I don't. Jimin, you know. She come and Jimin, she come and you think to Yoongi, you think I can do this, Jimin? I don't you either. He said, and Jimin, I do, and you are. Yoongi feels so. Okay, so what he do here? Hmm. Last scene. Present. Jimin sits on the bed and he's trying to think. What to think all this? He don't know what he do. Last night, Yoongi clients come and they do the dinner. It's been almost 17 days and Yoongi is not talking with him, which is making Jimin more. He don't know what he do. He realizes, and in these 17 days, so now what, huh? He don't know what he do, and now one day Rhea again come and Jimin decide. If she come again, he her out from the room. Jimin is thinking all this when the door open and mates come with the and chocolate bag. Jimin, what is this? He asked, being shocked and confused. Maid Chunky sir sent this for you. She said, make Jimin shocked. Jimin see and last scene and the third last text. He read the not happy. Jimin read this and turn Yoongi's at him, but still he remember him. He think and become happy and uh, then made then made once again come with so many gift boxes, chocolates, and Jimin placed everything on the table, and the whole table is filled with the with these gifts. Jimin he think how now no matter what he make everything alright. Jimin and he's waiting for Yoongi. It's evening when Yoongi come. Jimin see him. He and Yoongi smile lightly, but Jimin don't notice. After some time, Jimin come. Jimin back. Jimin Yoongi me for what happened, please. He said with about, and Yoongi stays silent. Last scene and the second last text, but I promise I make everything alright. Please talk with me. Yoongi, you don't me on that time, Jimin. Jimin, I do. I was really don't be called with me anymore. He said and make about Yoongi side. Yoongi, fine. I talk with you now just because 2 days and I don't have any plan to. He said and Jimin smiled. Jimin, so you me Yoongi? Yes, I do. He said and Jimin, you know well how much I you Yoongi. I do. He said and both look at each other. Jimin, you fresh up, then we do dinner. Yoongi nodded and he smiled. He go. Jimin sign and he go for bringing dinner. After some time they both do dinner. I have to write, but I don't. So forgive me. Hope so you all like. If like, then subscribe and tell me in comments. Take care of yourselves. Sarangi. See you all in the next.